Good afternoon, Stampers and Crafters. This is Linnea Rue, Independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator from Owatonna, Minnesota, currently in Naples, Florida. Today, the only Stampin' Up! News I have is our paper pumpkin kits are going to be raised to $29 a kit, and you can still order them 3-month, 6-month, or yearly. They, as with everything, costs of materials goes up, but there's still a good value for your money because everything comes in them: stamps, ink, adhesives to put together the cards or the project that's in the kit. It's a great kit for people that don't want a lot or don't have the room for a lot of materials. Or for somebody like a grandchild, a grandmother, people that just maybe want to do one now and then. I like them because every once in a while it's nice just to put together some cards that you need, whether it's sympathy, thanks, congratulations, without having to think or plan. So it's kind of nice, and there's alternatives out there too. If you go to YouTube, there's all kinds of alternatives that you can use if you do have materials and want to make something different than what the kit suggests. But instructions come with it, telling you exactly where to put all the adhesives, what to stamp on, the instructions, and then there's always a YouTube video that Stampin' Up! Puts out for you to see how they suggest to put the kit together. I'd appreciate it today if you like or share my video. That helps me out. And if you subscribe to my YouTube channel, you'll never miss a video. Facebook only keeps our videos for 30 days. After that time, you need to go to YouTube to see them, or you can go to YouTube right away and watch them when it's convenient for you. For anyone that places a $50 order by Sunday, this coming Sunday, March 7th, I think, I will give you materials to make these 3 cards that we're going to make today. That will be my gift and thank you to you. Today we are going to make cards using the Scalloped Wishes Stamp and Dies. It's an online exclusive. I'm forever love having scallops instead of just a plain circle. It also has a happy graduation in it, which is nice, and a dragonfly. I like that. It has "So very happy for you, very sincere thanks, and I'm here for you if you need me." That being said, you can use any sentiment. There's a "for you." So what I did a little different this time, to see if I liked it or not, was I traced around each one of the stamps so I know exactly where they go and if I'm missing one. You do get a little black ink on your stamp, but that also is helpful when you stamp. You see right where the edge is. I see it as a helpful line for you to line them up. So first we're going to start with this card right here. And I will show you, I've done some of the cutting ahead of time, but I will show you what we are going to do and how we make this card happen. So first we're going to start out with a piece of seafoam that's 5.5 by 8 1/4 scored at 4, or 8.5 scored at 4 1/4. And I put a piece of, it's the Subtles designer series paper. Down here I don't have as much to choose from as I do in Minnesota, so I go with what I have. This one has a little yellow in it. Anyway, I cut that down to about so that it just fits on the front. Then I took the die, the oval die, and I cut this out. And the oval die, I will show you the dies here. I need a magnetic sheet down here, but I don't have them. They're all in Minnesota. But it's this large one right here. So we're going to use that one first. And I already did that. We cut that out there. And then what I'm going to do is use the stamping stamp positioner. I'm going to put it right here. And we're going to put that down like that. I'm sorry, that's all wrong. We're going to score it like that. And I am going to cut a piece of white. Evidently I used that for another card. I've done that before, have them all cut and then use them for a different card. So bear with me here. Hold please. Okay. I'm going to position this right up against those little bumps. Put it down just a little bit. Right about there. Okay. Then I'm going to take the scalloped stamp that should fit right in there, like that. And then I'm going to put that on there to pick it up. Okay, and then I'm going to use Daffodil Delight, and I'm going to ink it up. And then we'll reposition it and stamp it down. We'll give it a couple seconds to transfer the ink. And there you have it. I hope that all made sense to you. We did it with the Stamparatus also, but I thought I'd give it a try with the stamp positioner. Now, I know a lot of us put ink all over the back of it, but with this Tombow glue, you really don't need that much ink. you go. And then that should show through the window. Okay, then I'm going to take pecan pie. Now, I also want to give you this tip. If you have some of these ink pads that don't slide very well, just take a little bit of lip balm and run it along the side, and then it makes it slide way easier. With our new stamp pads, we shouldn't have a problem with that, so it would be just for the time being. Okay, then I'm going to ink this stamp up that says, "So very happy for you." And I'm going to stamp off. And let me get it lined up here. There we go. I'm going to stamp it right in there. I think pecan pie is a good color to go with the subtles, the pastels, the spring colors. Okay. Then, of course, you're going to have some of these left over because that's cut out from the middle. You can make another card with that. Then I took, and from this designer paper that I used on the front, I cut a leaf sprig from the die and a vellum sprig, and then I stamped the cattails on there and die cut them out. And then I put some 2-dimensionals on the back. And I'm going to place that right down there. The only thing you have to be careful of is not to get any adhesive there that will hold this down. Then I put a dimension or a glue dot on the back here, using up some of my glue dots that come in kits. You always have product left over. I love this little dragonfly. He's so cute. And I'm going to place him right up here by the sentiment, but not covering it. And what I did there again, I cut out the wings with this designer paper and with a vellum and put the vellum on top. It just gives it a little more dimension. And then I cut the body out in pecan pie. Okay, and then we are going to I used rhinestone. They tend to be my go-to because you can color them if you would like, but they go with everything. So if you don't have the right color, it doesn't matter. I'm going to put one right there on the back of the dragonfly. I'm going to put one there. I'm using the small ones. And then I'm going to put one down here. And there you have your card. Hopefully it looks very springy. Oh, I'm sorry. And I would like to use some twine, and it's the gold and black combo pack that we had over the holidays time that's still available. And I'm going to cut a little bit off of there to shorten the tails just a little bit. There. So you have your rhinestone and your little bow, and you have a card. And then you have these pieces, you have all the other pieces left over that you cut out the middle from to make another card. Okay, and for our second card, I'm going to use the same stamps and dies, and then I'm going to use this beautiful pattern embossing folder. You could use any embossing folder, whichever one you have. And we will make this card. Now you can change up these colors too if you like. But I took the cardstock 8.5 by 5.5, scored it 4 1/4 again, and then I put twine on here. I'm gonna move that up just a little bit. Even this out a little bit. And I took a piece of cardstock that was 4 by 5 1/4. And then I took a white piece that was 3 3/4 by 5, and I embossed that one and put it on here. And then I tied the string around here. I like doing that. I think it's a little easier for me than it is to put that around there and then try to tie a bow. Never been a big fan of that one. Then I'm going to put dimensionals on the back. Okay, and we will remove the backings. I'm really having fun with this scalloped wishes set. It'd be great for a wedding. It'd be great for a bridal shower. It would be great for, it just looks so springy and so elegant, I think. Okay, there, I'm gonna put that like that. And I'm gonna put together, so I did this with the large oval with this piece. And then when you cut out the scalloped part, you will get 2 pieces. So you get a scallop part and then you get this inside piece. And so what I'm going to do, now you could use a sticky sheet for this. That would be fine also. Or you can use some Tombow. Got a little piece on here that I don't want on there. There we go. And I found, oh, I don't have my embossing kit down here with my brush, so what I did was I took one of these toothbrush and went through there, and that helps brush everything out of there. A lot less time doing that than and then I just put a tiny little drop around here. You don't want very much, just barely a drop. You could also use glue dots. I have to admit, if I had the adhesive sheets, I would use that here. I might have to get some for down here. Get very used to using some things, and when you don't have them, and improvise seems harder, much harder. Okay, so we're going to take this and we're going to lay that on there. Now, doesn't that look elegant already? We'll just hold that down for a bit. You could also do this once you have it down. Okay, then I'm going to take this little piece here, and once again I'm going to use the pecan pie, and I'm going to stamp off, and then I'm going to stamp it on the oval like that. I like this grid paper that comes with a stamp positioner because then I can line up, like you can line these ovals up so that you can get them straight. Once again, I'm going to use the So Happy For You, and I am not going to stamp off this time. Give it a couple minutes to transfer, like that. And then I'm going to use some mini dimensionals on the back because I have them, and then I don't have to cut any. Remove the backings. And a test I do sometimes, because it's all white, is I check them to see if the backs are off, because it's real tricky once it's down if you've missed one. Ask me how I know that. Okay, then we're going to put this right there, like that. And then again, I like the bigger ones for the bigger oval. So it doesn't smash in the mail. By the looks of some of the mail I've received recently, looks like it's been through a war. It's all tore up. Okay, then I'm going to put this right in the middle like that. I'm going to close this before I stick my hand in it. Then I stamped off and put some cottontails here, and then I stamped the little stamp of the dragonfly. And once again, I'm just going to put a little, as you can see, I got some ink on this side, so I flipped it over and did the other side. And I'm going to just put adhesive at the top, just like Hallmark does. And then I'm going to take one of the glue dots. And I'm going to place it right there. And then put the little bow there. And I'm going to trim the tails a little bit, shorten it. And there, oh, forgot the embellishment. Here I'm only going to use one, so I'm going to use the bigger one. There we go, and there you have, it'd be a great bridal, wedding, any of those. Okay, I have one more card to show you. Like I said, once I started playing with this set, it was real hard to stop because it makes such a beautiful card. Okay, this is going to be our next one. These all I cased off of Pinterest, so I can't tell you who from who, because I looked at so many videos and sites. Okay, this one's going to be just a little bit different, but similar. So I took a piece of the Subtles Designer Series paper, and once again I took 8.5 by 5.5 card base, scored at 4 1/4. I'm going to there, and then I took some of the Stylish Shapes. I love these. I hope they never go away. And I took the biggest one, the largest one there, and I cut out some banners from the Designer Series paper. So this is this side. This is Bubble Bath, and this is the heart side. And I am going to start by placing them I think I cased this one from Amy Kay, but don't quote me on that. Now you can use any Designer Series paper, anything you have on hand. Just use the same. This is about 3 inches by 5.5. And what I usually do is adhere this on there and then cut it off. So then it always, because sometimes you cut a little bit short and then it doesn't look as well. Okay, now we're going to put this oval together. So once again, the largest oval, I cut that out. And then we're gonna do this again, but I see I have some little pieces left in there. Okay. So then again, I'm going to use a little bit of the adhesive, just tiny, tiny little drops, that's all you need. Tombow is very strong. I use it for all my 3D projects. Many people have a love-hate with it because if you squeeze too hard, you get way too much. Very, very light pressure is all you need. Okay. Then I will take this and lay it on here. And I think I told you this is Bubble Bath. Very springy color. I'm going to turn it over. Gives that a little more time to stick. And then I took the oval and I stamped full strength with sincere thanks. And then I'm going to use my little dimensionals again. Now, anytime you design, you can do a dry fit, and dry fit just means laying it out before you put adhesive on it. So you can see how you would like it. Okay, and then I'm going to use the larger ones again. Now you can cut these in half if you'd like, but on a bigger piece I like to have more support. And all of these that I've been using have been left over from kits, so you have plenty. Okay, then I'm going to position it like that. And then I'm going to take this first little greenery piece and I'm going to put some tiny little dots on it. Here again, you could use a sticky sheet, but you don't always cover the whole surface of the cardstock, so then you're going to have adhesive in places that you don't want it. Hold that for a little bit. Then we'll take the tiny little branch. I use 2. You could use more if you would like. And this time I only put adhesive on the ones that are on the inner, not on the outer area. Now you could put as many flowers as you want. The die will cut out 2 and the little hole pops out. So you could either replace the hole, because there'll be a little pink hole that cut out, or I'm going to use these little dimensionals. And I'm going to put that one right there. And then I'm going to use another little dimensional on this one. You can tell the right or wrong side. One side's a little more finished. And I'm going to put that one right there. And then, because that's sticky on the inside, since I used a dimensional, I'm going to use these little rhinestones right in the middle. Then I'm going to use another one and just put it up here. I think that needs a little bit more. Then I am going to take this strip, get my dimensionals out of the way here. I'm going to take this strip and put it on the inside. So I'm just going to put a little adhesive right there. The silicone mat is awesome to place adhesive on things because nothing sticks to it. And when you have white paper, you can see where the the line is. And that way, you use up more of your Designer Series paper because it's just scraps. Well, there. I hope you have enjoyed this video. I hope you've learned something new. If you have any questions or about anything, please, pertaining to Stampin' Up! Preferably, please let me know. I would love to be your demonstrator. I'd love to earn your support. Until next week, happy stamping.